Ladies and gentlemen, in a couple of weeks we have UFC 274. Well, Charles "The Bronx" Oliveira will be defending the lightweight strap against the human highlight reel Justin Gaethje in an absolutely sensational match. Now, the video today, we're going to talk about Charles Oliveira because he's a guy that I feel that has been on such an incredible journey. The ups and downs, the highs, the lows, the stoppages, of which there were 7. But now he sits at the top of the throne as the lightweight champion of the world. And I'm telling you, take it from a man that is blind in one eye, sometimes people don't appreciate the talent that they see right before them. Listen, maybe that's because Khabib Nurmagomedov, in a lot of people's eyes, is still classed as the champ. He retired on top, so some people might still think that, okay? But they need to get over that. They need to get a grip. Charles Oliveira, often going into his fights, he's always the underdog against Tony Ferguson, Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, even some websites against Justin Gaethje. They have him listed as the underdog. So listen, we're going to go through a list, a reason, 5 reasons why all you critics need to just shut the hell up because you don't know what you're talking about. Number 5, this guy is one tenacious, tough son of a bitch. And I mean that as a compliment. Listen, when he was born, he developed bone rheumatism and he also had heart murmurs. He was told by the doctors he would never walk again. He was told he would never play football. He was told that he would have to have injections every 2 weeks for the rest of his life. Now listen, not only did he prove the doctors wrong, not only did he play football, as we know, he went on to become an absolutely legendary force inside the UFC, right? Breaking all kinds of records and becoming champion of the world. I mean, if that isn't defying the odds, I don't know what is. Of course, his nickname, "The Bronx," that's a big fuck you to his haters. Listen, in Brazil, jiu-jitsu is a very expensive sport. That's why they have luta livre. Luta livre is basically no-gi jiu-jitsu. The posh kids or the richer kids, the better families, they could afford the gi, so therefore they did Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And when the Bronx would go to arenas or he would have jiu-jitsu competitions and all the rest of it, they would call him Du Bronx because in Brazil they thought the Bronx was a rough part of New York, which it used to be, but as we know now it's pretty much gentrified like a lot of those places are. So they would call him Du Bronx as an insult, like calling him poor. So he adopted that, saying, you know what, yeah, you can call me Du Bronx, I'll call myself Du Bronx and I'll prove you all wrong. And proving people wrong, that is what he's done his entire career. He's defied the odds. He's come back to win fights that he's losing. Against Dustin Poirier, it was not going well. Against Michael Chandler, it looked like the fight was finished at the end of the first round, but we know we got a second round and we know he became the champ after that fight. This man defies the odds. Real quick, I just want to tell you about IP Vanish. Anytime you go online, you're always at the mercy of hackers. You have a lot of financial information. You've got your bank details, you've got passwords, you've got social media accounts. And these can all be hacked very easily these days. Also, if you're traveling internationally, a lot of countries that you go to, there's certain websites that you can't access. So, with IP Vanish, number 1, you are fully protected. And of course, you have unrestricted access to everything on the internet. So go to ipvanish.com/Bisping or hit the link in the episode description down below. ipvanish.com/Bisping. Number 4, the man has totally reinvented himself. Look, listen, 2018, he started off losing 4 of his last 6 fights. That's never a good sign. At featherweight, he lost 8 times, including being finished 7 times, a variety of submissions and knockouts. I truly believe that was because of the weight cut. The weight cut affects your cardio, your gas tank. The longer the fight goes on, you get more and more tired. It also affects your ability to take a shot. Now, because of those losses, there was always talk that, you know, Charles Oliveira is a great fighter, but he can never win the big ones. And that sounds familiar. That's what people used to say about me. But look at this guy now. He is now on a 10-fight win streak in the lightweight division with back-to-back wins over Tony Ferguson, Michael Chandler, Dustin Poirier, right? The man at 155 is an absolute killer. You need to forget about featherweight because that is all in the past. Number 3, the man has the most submissions in the history of the UFC, which is absolutely incredible if you think about all the great jiu-jitsu fighters that have competed in the UFC, and he has more submissions than any of them at 15. As I say, again, in the toughest division as well. Not only that, he has the most submission attempts. The man is on a 10-fight win streak, and when he gets those submissions, he's doing it via a variety of ways. He's got arm bars, triangles, guillotines, anacondas, calf slices. Throw them in there. The man's got them for days. You are not safe. If you hit the ground with him, you are not safe in any way, shape or form. Number 2, the stats do not lie. Listen, critics, Haters, whatever you want to call them, we all have to have our opinions. But guess what? The numbers don't lie. And when you look at the numbers, here they are. The man has had 20 wins in the UFC. 18 of them have come by way of stoppage. That is a 90% finish rate, which is absolutely phenomenal. Need more? Well, guess what? The man has the most post-fight bonuses in the history of the company as well, coming in at 18. 12 performance of the night bonuses, 3 submission of the night, and 3 fight of the night. The stats don't lie. He's one of the most exciting ever and one of the best ever. Number 1, he is the lightweight champion of the world. It's as simple as that. I mean, you can doubt him all you want. You can talk about his losses. You can look back at the 7 times he was finished. But none of those matter. Because he is now the lightweight champion of the world in the toughest division. And I know I've said that a few times, but it's true. Back in the day, right, 2005, 6, 7, it was the light heavyweight division. You had Rampage, you had Vanderlei, you had Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, people like that. Then at welterweight, a few years later, during George St. Pierre's reign, you had Matt Hughes, you had George St. Pierre, of course. There was many, many great guys. That was the star division. But now all the eyes are on the lightweight division. So if you're the champion of that, I mean, you are potentially pound for pound one of the very best in the world. Look at the competition that he has. Tony Ferguson, Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler, Islam Makhachev, Beneil Dariush. The list really does go on. Now, of course, that is a blessing and a curse. You know, when you're the champion, that's amazing. But it means every time you fight and you defend the belt, you are literally taking on one of the baddest men on the planet. So that is absolutely phenomenal what he's done to go through the early days from the medical the doctors writing him off saying he'll never play sports, to then get into the UFC, to losing 7, 8 fights with 7 stoppages, to now reinvent himself, go up a weight class, take out all those amazing fighters and now be sitting at the top of the food chain as the champion of the world is incredible. And by the way, this man does not forget where he comes from either. If you look it up, he does tremendous work back home. He's always feeding to the poor people, helping out the homeless, doing everything he can to give back to his local community. Charles do Bronx Oliveira, take a bow, my friend. What you've achieved is absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot wait for your fight coming up against Justin Gaethje at UFC 274. Now, if you like the video, do me a favor, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. I'll be back with another one tomorrow.